I've been doing a bit of thinking, and I have a second idea that might be a bit easier. I am looking at this right now, and I've been just kind of toying around with how big I can make this before it gets a bit shaky. So realistically, I can make it side to side however big I want, but it doesn't really like going too high because obviously it gets a bit top heavy. But I had an idea. In the actual trailer for the update, the devs showed off this giant, it wasn't a cube, it was just a square, and it was able to see, it was like the test to show you how you can now use the measurement feature on the distance sensor to tell certain blocks how far away things are. What if I just did that? So it's going to have to be really big, so I'm going to have to find a really strong way of rotating it. But I realise now that having it jitter back and forth is completely pointless. What if instead I just have a absolutely massive grid of distance sensors that if the plane gets too far over this side of it, it just turns slightly that way until it reaches the middle, or, you know, vice versa for the other way around, up and down the same. What if I just did that? And then or you could have the middle sensors would then link up to the missile with all the cosine and sine rule and whatever the hell to aim the missile. Would that also work? Would that be a much easier, it would be a more, like, barbaric way, if you like, because it's just literally forcing a giant grid to do the work of what you could have a different mechanism to do, or whatever the hell, I don't know. Wouldn't that work? Would that not work? I mean, again, I still need those distance sensors lengthened. More range, please. I've been testing how far it is. God, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. He can't see me. He can see me over here. He can still see me. Is that me? Those little flick? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, and it stopped. That's the range. That's all the range we have. There we go. It's about here. This is about the limit. So from the edge of the green circle to the edge of the white line, kind of where that mark is, just imagine that. That's a rough estimate of the range. Line of the mark to about edge of the circle from where I'm standing there. So yeah, I'm going to work on that now. I'm going to work on having a very, very strong rotation system and a massive grid, a giant grid. Planes are about that size in Trailmakers. They're like, give or take, that big. So that's like the average size. So I'm going to make the grid bigger than that, because it's not going to matter how far away or close it is, because these are just laser pointers, as I said in the previous video. To this grid, it's going to be the same size whether it's 20,000 trillion miles away or if it's right in front of its face, because they're laser pointers. They're not. It's not like a widening array finder, or like a wave, even like an electromagnetic wave being emitted in front. It's a laser pointer. So that's going to be the biggest challenge. It's getting the big actually grid enough, because it's going to have to be about probably 1.5 times the width of this plane, and definitely 1.5 times the height, because if they turn over that way and you see the wingspan instead, it's going to put off. I never really want the one side of the radar to be seeing the plane the same time the other side is. So I would illustrate this for you, but I mean, I think it's kind of simple enough to kind of understand. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that right now. Also, I'm getting close to 200 subs, which is pretty cool. I'm really appreciative of that. I'm beating all my friends in subs right now. Anyway, I'll see you next time when I do something. I don't know what it'll be. It will definitely be something. See you then.